Okay, so this is arms and shoulders. It's day one for the month of October. We have big triceps, biceps, and shoulders. We have 3 exercises for each set, and we're going to do each one as a circuit 3 times. So we will start with our triceps. We have both cables at the top with no handles on them, and you'll see why. Exercise number 1 is a lat bar tricep push down. So your client is going to face the ring, grab the lat bar from overhead. I'm going to face you so you can see. My knuckles are up. Squeeze your armpits. Tuck your elbows right under your shoulders. Hands are shoulder width apart. Press straight down. Come back to your chest and press straight down. Keeping those elbows directly under your shoulders. It's going to isolate the triceps as much as it can. Exercise number 2 is a 2-arm overhead cable tricep extension. So again, they're going to face the ring. They're going to grab the handle with the opposite hand, create an X, and then uncross their hands. Their elbows are in line with their shoulders down and back, and they're extending using their triceps, keeping those shoulders in line with keeping those elbows in line with their shoulders. As they fatigue, they're going to lower. That's okay, just make sure they're not using a lot of momentum like this. Okay, so we want everything nice and tight. Extend with their elbows in line with their shoulders. And exercise number 3 is a tricep push-up. So they will drop down, their hands are directly underneath their shoulders, drop chest to elbows, press back up. If they need, they can also go to their knees. 2 things, make sure their hands are directly under their shoulders, not way out front. And 2, make sure their elbows are nice and narrow. 3, I guess, if you see their hips sagging, obviously drop them to their knees. So we have the lat bar tricep push down, the 2 cable cross extension, and tricep push up for 3 rounds. Circuit number 2 is for our biceps. So what do we need here? We need the rope on one side at the bottom. And we need the left handle, or the black cable, at about high shoulder. Okay? 3 moves. Number 1 is a supine bicep curl. So they're going to use L2 and R2 down low, and they'll be lying on their back. Their feet can go on their footrest. They are pressing their triceps and elbows to the floor as they curl. You'll notice I'm not curling all the way to my shoulder. That's 1, not really possible or good, but 2, their elbows are going to lift. So if they're pressing their triceps, it's full extension just until they can't curl anymore, squeezing their bicep. Exhale as they curl. They also need to keep their hands pretty narrow or else the cables will come off of the wheel there. That's number 1. Number 2 is a 1-arm lateral bicep curl. So they're going to step out. Their elbows pretty much in line with their shoulder. It's slightly forward. We don't want it way far back. So pull their shoulder down and back wherever's comfortable. Keeping that elbow in line with their shoulder. Their bicep curling. That handle to their shoulder. Again, it's not going to touch. And then they'll switch and do the other side. And then exercise number 3, good old trusty rope hammer curl. Squeeze your armpits, elbows directly under your shoulders and curl. As they fatigue, you'll notice this. Stop it, drop the weight next round, and make sure they're not using momentum to curl and their elbows are moving. So number 1 is the supine bicep curl. Number 2 is the 1-arm lateral bicep curl. And number 3 is the rope hammer curl for 3 rounds as a circuit. And then our shoulder circuit. So there is going to have to be a transition here in between exercises. The black handle is all the way to the bottom. The rope is going to stay on the bottom, and right when they're done the rope, they're going to have to quickly transition to the black handle. It's doable. I've done it twice now, and I've allowed a little bit of extra time on the timer to make that happen. Exercise number 1, it says tall kneeling. So they will go tall kneeling. Wrap their knuckles to touch each other. Hands start in your mouth. You're almost scraping your body on the way up. Stopping their hands right about their mouth and pressing straight up. If their hands are not rolled and their elbows are squeezed to the front, you're going to see a a lot of this, and it's ugly. Now, I also moved away, same form, and stood. I liked that better. I could lift heavier without arching my back. You coach your client. Depends how they feel, depends what their form is, and depends what their weight is. Either tall kneeling, as the board says, or standing if they can go there. This is where you're going to quickly, because they're down, take the rope off, put the black handle on, and you're ready for exercise number 2. Grab the black handles with opposite hands. Oh, that feels heavy. Cross-body lateral raise. Straight out. My hands aren't obviously right in line with my shoulders, that's no good, but if they're standing in the rig, exhale, and your hands should be out in front of the rig for a lateral raise. Shoulders down and back. And number 3 is a band high wide pull. So they're going to have a band set up in the lower S-drive glute. Shoulders down and back, knuckles up. Make a high Y. Hit those rear delts. This actually hits most of the anterior and posterior delt. So this hits the whole shoulder. Squeeze nice and tight at the top. We want a high Y, and we don't want a W. So if they can't get their arms straight, 1, they either need to step in closer, or 2, drop the band of color. So then they will quickly go back, handle off, rope on, and they're ready for their tall kneeling. So we have the tall kneeling, rope front shoulder raise, quickly transition to the black handle for the lateral cross body raise, and then number 3 is the band high wide pull. 3 rounds as a circuit. All right, then we're going to go into lower body. So we do need the Smith bar, and we need a rubber resistance band. 4 exercises, 2 rounds. Exercise number 1 is a lunge complex. So we're going to do 1 leg for 30 seconds. Lateral lunge, reverse lunge. Lateral lunge, reverse lunge. Only 1 leg moves for 30, and then they'll switch and they'll do the other leg for 30. Exercise number 2 is a resistance band glute bridge. This one's a little tough, just to maintain the tension on the band, but do their best. Orange, yellow, or orange, red, or blue rubber band. And like I said, do their best. It's the best we can find to weight and glute bridge for now. We obviously don't have enough weights for everybody. We shouldn't have them, but we do. So they're going to take the band around their hips, press their hands into the floor as they hold the band, and glute bridge. Their hands may lift a little bit, but press through your shoulder blades and lift your hips. A little bit of resistance is the best that we can do. Exercise number 3 is a sumo squat pulse. We haven't done pulses in a while. So out into sumo stance. Push your butt back. Don't keep your chest up. Slight hinge for a flat back. Down as low as they can get to that full range squat and pulse it out. And number 3 is a Smith bar deadlift. I've started coaching this a new way to get them lined up correctly, and I love it. I tried it myself. So rather than trying to tell them, get your shins against the bar, line the bar up over your shoelaces, your shins are 4 inches away, yada, yada, yada. What I've done, I'm going to face this way, or I'm going to face you. They usually face the other direction. I tell them, lift your bar and press your hips against it. Right there. That's where you should start. Your hips should be touching the bar. Hinge, snap, and squeeze. It's been really good. I think it feels great, and all of my clients' form has been really, really good. So we have the lunge complex, a lateral lunge and a reverse leg, or a lateral lunge and a reverse lunge. 1 leg for 30, other leg for 30. Resistance band glute bridge, sumo squat pulses, and the Smith bar deadlift. 2 times, 30 seconds each as a circuit. All right, then we're going to go into supersets. So we have 3 supersets. I did a tricep bicep, a tricep bicep, and then anterior shoulder kind of, and a posterior shoulder. So we're going to do each superset 2 times as a circuit. 20 on, 10 off. Superset 1, in the lower S-drive loop with the straight bar. We did this a couple months ago. I really liked it. The clients seemed to like it. They thought it was different. All right, so the band's in the center. I'll show you what's up with that. Number 1, for 20 seconds, Smith bar dip. Hands directly under their shoulders, puff their chest out. The hardest variation is going to be straight legs. Lower. The further you walk your feet in, a little bit easier than it gets. Okay? Exercise number 2 is for the biceps. Step away. Now I don't have a lot of tension, so this isn't going to be very hard. But it's reverse curl pulses. So somewhere in the mid-range, pulse it out. Knuckles up, okay? 20 seconds. Back to your dips for 20, and then finish with those reverse curls for 20. So that's 2 rounds. Superset number 2. We are putting a different color band in the upper S-drive loop. I'm using purple because I just did this, and my arms are toast. 2 exercises, 20 on, 10 off twice. Supinated band kickback pulses. Okay? So a little bit of a hinge, your knuckles face behind you, starting your hips, bending your elbows, fast, pulse back. Make sure they're not moving from their shoulders. We want that elbow to get the maximum tricep. And number 2 is a lat bar bicep curl. So grab your lat bar, palms face you, your elbows stay in line with your shoulders, and you're curling kind of to the bridge of your nose. Okay, so grab that lat bar, elbows in line, and curl to the bridge of your nose. Back to the kickbacks and finish that superset with the pulses for 2 rounds, or for the bicep, lat bar bicep curls for 2 rounds. And then number 3, shoulder tap with a push-up, and a lat bar face pull. So shoulder tap, hands under shoulders, tap, opposite shoulder, push up, tap, push up, tap, etc. Drop to their knees for their push up if they need to. So it's 1 tap, and a push up. And number 2 for circuit 3, I like this move a lot. We've actually never done it. So it's a lat bar face pull. So we're going to grip wide with our knuckles up, shoulders down and back, elbows wide, and pull. Now you can't see where I'm pulling to, but I'm here and I'm pulling right beneath my chin. That allows me to pull and squeeze as far back as I can. So super wide, pull the bar lands right beneath my chin. Okay? So that's a lot. We have 3 circuits, 2 times each circuit. Smith bar tricep dip, and the band plus straight bar reverse curl pulses 2 times. You're moving to the supinated band tricep kickbacks and the lat bar bicep curls 2 times. And you're finishing with the shoulder tap push-up and the lat bar face pull 2 times. Okay? So that takes us to AMRAP. We need a band in the top and a lighter band in the bottom. 3 moves. Number 1 is a supine band tricep press. Number 2 is a low cable bicep row. And number 3 is a toe kneeling overhead press out. So forget about the band I said that we need up top. Okay. We're going to grab red, blue, or green. The band's going to go around our back like this. Okay? Grip it with your thumbs, just like so. Lie down. Press straight up for 10 times. Keeping those elbows tight and narrow. Big, powerful exhale up. 10 of those. Then we have a low cable bicep row. Grab these, start with your thumbs up, hinge, turn your palms up, and row, bringing your wrists to your armpits. 10 of those. And then you're finishing with 10 overhead press out, half kneeling, towards the ceiling and the wall. All right, so out and up, nice and wide, 10 of those. Supine band tricep press, low cable bicep row, and tall kneeling overhead press outs. Let me see, I just realized I said tall kneeling. Tall kneeling or half kneeling, it doesn't matter, however the client feels comfortable. 10 for everything. Then we have core. All right, so I'm gonna move this a little bit so I can get a little bit closer. 5 moves for 1 round. Side plank crunch. So I would recommend that they stay on their knee. You may have 1 or 2 clients that can, I like elbow, again, also. So they can get up into a side plank as long as they're nice and tight, crunch their elbow to their knee, extend, squeeze, extend, or keep that knee down, really press up and squeeze. I feel more controlled, I like that. So they're gonna do one side, then they're gonna grab the rope, extend, squeeze, extend, squeeze for that rope shootout, kind of like a double leg, double arm dead bug. Make sure they're far enough away from the rig that they can get full extension. Super important to press their low back to the floor. And if they can't fully extend without their low back coming off the floor, keep their knees bent and tap their toes. That's totally fine. Number 3 is that side plank crunch. On the other side, full extension to a full crunch. Number 4 is an elbow plank body saw, so they can get sliders and pull themselves forward and backwards on the sliders under their toes, or they can rock. Whatever feels good for them, don't let their hips sag. And number 5, hollow hold. So a nice V-sit and flutter their legs. Last time we did this, there was a lot of this. Hold on. We really want them to flutter. If they need to drop to their elbows to flutter, that's okay. We want the flutter happening from their hips to use their core, not just their knees. So we have the side plank crunch on one side, the supine rope shootout, side plank crunch on the other, elbow body saw, and the hollow hold flutters for 1 round. And that's it.